What if I told you your life can completely change in just 90 days? Not in years, not someday, but in the next 3 months. The question is, will you waste these 90 days or will you transform your life? Most people wait for the right time, the right mood, the right opportunity, the right moment. But life doesn't change when everything feels perfect. It changes the moment you decide to take control. 90 days may seem small, but focused effort in a short time can create massive results. This is your chance to reset your habits, rebuild your mindset, and redesign your future. The next 90 days can either pass like every other time or become the turning point of your life. Clarity is the starting point of every real transformation. Without it, effort becomes scattered and progress feels inconsistent. When you take the time to define who you want to become, you give your life direction. It's no longer about chasing random goals, it's about shaping your identity. Instead of asking, "What do I want to achieve?" you begin asking, "What kind of person achieves these things?" That shift changes everything, because once your identity is clear, your actions stop being forced. They become natural extensions of who you are trying to become. Discipline is no longer a struggle, it becomes a standard. Focus is no longer effort, it becomes your default. And this is where most people get it wrong. They focus on outcomes but ignore identity. They want results without becoming the person capable of sustaining them. But real growth works the other way around. When you decide who you are becoming, your habits begin to align with that version of you. Every decision becomes easier because you're not debating, you're simply acting in alignment. You don't skip the work because that's not who you are anymore. You don't get distracted because your direction is clear. Over time, this alignment builds momentum, and before you realize it, you're no longer chasing change, you've become it. Growth always demands a decision, what stays and what has to go. You can't move forward while carrying habits, environments, or people that keep pulling you back to your old version. The hardest part is that these things often feel familiar, even comfortable, but comfort can quietly trap you in the same cycle. Whether it's wasting hours on distractions, staying around negativity, or holding on to limiting thoughts, every one of these drains your energy without you noticing. And real progress begins the moment you become honest about what is no longer serving you. Letting go isn't easy, but holding on is what keeps you stuck. Once you start cutting off what holds you back, everything begins to shift. Your time opens up, your mind feels lighter, and your focus becomes sharper. You're no longer divided between growth and distraction. You're fully aligned with your direction. This is where clarity turns into momentum. You begin to act with intention instead of habit, and your energy starts going into building instead of surviving. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is a sign of change, because every time you let go of something that limits you, you make space for something that strengthens you. Discipline is built in the small moments that most people ignore. It's not about doing something extreme once in a while. It's about showing up every single day in simple, consistent ways. Waking up on time, doing your work even when your mood isn't right, staying committed when no one is watching. These actions may look small, but they carry real power. Because every time you follow through, you are reinforcing a standard within yourself. You're proving that your actions are not controlled by feelings, but by decisions. And that shift is what separates temporary effort from long-term growth. Over time, these small actions start to compound in a way that feels almost unfair. What once felt difficult becomes normal. What once required effort becomes automatic. In 90 days, the person who stayed consistent with simple discipline will be far ahead of the one who kept waiting for motivation. Because motivation fades, but discipline builds. And once it's built, it carries you forward even on your worst days. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need the right mood. You just need to keep showing up. That's how small daily efforts turn into powerful, undeniable results. Your mind is powerful, but it's not always on your side. It looks for comfort, avoids risk, and tries to protect you, even when that protection is what's holding you back. It creates excuses that sound logical, doubts that feel real, and fears that seem valid. If you're not aware, you start obeying these thoughts without questioning them. That's where most people lose control. But the shift happens when you stop reacting to every thought and start observing them instead. You realize that just because you think something doesn't mean it's true, and in that moment, you create space between you and your mind. That space is where control begins. Instead of feeding negative thoughts, you redirect your focus into action. You don't wait to feel confident. You act despite the doubt. You don't argue with fear. You move forward anyway. Over time, this builds mental strength. Your mind starts adapting to your behavior instead of controlling it. Fear loses its intensity, doubt loses its grip, and excuses stop feeling convincing. And that's when your mind transforms from a limitation into a tool. It starts working for you, not against you. Because real power is not having a perfect mindset, it's having control over how you respond to it. Focus is what turns effort into real progress. When you try to do everything at once, your energy gets divided, your attention weakens, and nothing moves forward the way it should. You stay busy, but not effective. That's the trap of scattered effort. It feels like work, but it doesn't create meaningful results. The moment you choose one direction, everything begins to simplify. Your decisions become easier, your priorities become clear, and your actions start aligning with a single purpose. Instead of switching between tasks and losing momentum, you stay locked in and build consistency. When your energy is concentrated on one goal, progress accelerates. You go deeper instead of wider. You improve faster because you're fully engaged, learning, adjusting, and executing without constant interruption. Over time, this focused effort compounds into visible results, real growth that others can see, but more importantly, that you can feel. In 90 days, this level of focus can take you farther than years of distraction ever could. Because success is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters again and again without losing direction.
Let's be honest, this path is not supposed to feel easy. There will be days when your energy is low, your mind is full of doubt, and quitting feels like the most comfortable option. You'll question your progress, your decisions, even your purpose. But those moments are not signs that you're failing. They are part of the process. Anyone can stay consistent when everything feels right, when motivation is high and results come quickly. But that's not where real growth is built. Growth is built in resistance, in discomfort, in the moments where continuing feels harder than stopping. That's where your character is shaped. Pain, frustration, and struggle are temporary, but the habit of quitting can follow you into everything you do. Every time you choose to stop, you reinforce that pattern. But every time you push through, even when it's hard, you build something stronger within yourself. You prove that your commitment is bigger than your mood. Over time, that creates resilience, a mindset that doesn't break under pressure. And once you develop that, nothing feels impossible anymore, because you're no longer relying on easy days. You've trained yourself to keep going, no matter what. Tracking your progress turns effort into something real and visible. Without it, days blur together, and it feels like nothing is changing, even when you are putting in the work. But when you write down what you do each day, you create awareness. You start seeing patterns, understanding your habits, and noticing where you're improving or falling behind. It keeps you honest with yourself. No excuses, no guessing, just clear proof of your actions. And that clarity builds accountability, because you can no longer ignore what you're actually doing. Over time, this simple habit becomes powerful. You begin to see small wins that you would have otherwise overlooked. A little more consistency, a little more focus, a little more discipline. Day by day, it adds up. And on the days when you feel stuck, you can look back and realize how far you've already come. That reminder keeps you going, because progress isn't always fast or obvious, but it is always happening when you stay consistent. And when you track it daily, you give yourself the motivation, clarity, and proof you need to keep moving forward. Your energy is one of your most valuable resources, yet most people spend it without thinking. Every conversation, every environment, every piece of content you consume either builds you or drains you. Negativity, drama, and constant distractions slowly pull your focus away from what truly matters. You may not notice it immediately, but over time it weakens your mindset, lowers your motivation, and makes even simple tasks feel harder. Protecting your energy means becoming intentional, choosing what you allow into your mind and what you walk away from. Not everything deserves your attention. When your energy is protected, everything changes. Your mind feels clearer, your focus becomes sharper, and your actions carry more purpose. You stop reacting to everything around you and start directing your energy toward growth. The right content inspires you, the right environment strengthens you, and the right people elevate your thinking. And in that space, progress becomes natural. Because when your energy is no longer scattered or drained, it becomes powerful, fully aligned with your goals, and capable of producing real, consistent results. Being alone is often misunderstood as loneliness, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools for growth. When you step away from distractions, opinions, and constant noise, you create space to think deeply about who you are and what you want to become. This isn't about isolation forever, it's about temporary focus, a period where your energy goes entirely into yourself and your goals. In that silence, you reflect on your choices, learn from your mistakes, and plan your next moves without outside influence. It's a chance to connect with your own thoughts, values, and vision in a way that daily life rarely allows. This phase of solitude strengthens your mind and sharpens your focus. You learn to rely on yourself, trust your instincts, and build confidence without external validation. Habits form faster because your actions are intentional, not influenced by others. Ideas grow clearer, decisions come easier, and your purpose becomes more defined. Being comfortable alone doesn't mean you're disconnected. It means you're powerful, self-aware, and prepared for life on your own terms. It's in this space that the foundation of your future is built, quietly but unshakably. Growth is rarely visible in the moment. Most of the time, it feels like you're putting in effort for nothing. Long hours, disciplined routines, and consistent work with little to show for it. That's normal. The transformation happens quietly, behind the scenes. Every habit you build, every thought you redirect, every small step forward is shaping who you're becoming. Even if you can't see immediate results, your mindset is evolving, your skills are improving, and your consistency is stacking up like invisible momentum. Trusting the process means believing in the work itself, not just the outcome. It means showing up every day, even when progress feels slow or non-existent. That faith compounds over time, and then suddenly the invisible work becomes undeniable results. What once seemed impossible or too slow suddenly clicks, and the impact of your consistency becomes clear. Those who give up early never see it, but those who persist quietly, trusting the process, end up ahead. Because real success is built in patience, persistence, and unwavering faith in the work you do today. If you stay exactly the same for 90 days, where will your life be? 90 days of focus can build a life that years of distraction never could. If you think I provide you valuable content, then please like this video, follow, subscribe, and comment your thoughts in the comments section.